of the new children's book, Papa's Coming Home, which is out May 20th, right? But available for pre-sale now.
That's right, yeah.
Chasten, Buttigieg, great to see you.
Nice to see you.
You're also the best-selling author of a young adult memoir called I Have Something to Tell You.
Yeah.
So folks can pick that one up too.
Thanks.
Thank you for making the trip to LA.
Happy to be here.
I know it's not an easy thing when you have little kids at home. In fact, that's kind of the point of the book in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I hope you don't mind if I give listeners just a little peek behind the curtain here. So I called Chasten, was it Monday night? We had just recorded Pod Save America. Yeah. I called you at like 4:30 Pacific.
Yeah.
And you would just put the kids down and we were kind of like commiserating over the battle that can be bedtime and like patting ourselves on the back for getting it done. And I hear this adorable little voice in the back. It's like, Daddy, who are you talking to?
Yeah. Yeah. It was like the kids in The Shining. I turned around and there were just two twins standing around. I didn't even hear them come down the stairs.
Just jailbreak?
Yes. And they're really into talking about our friends right now.
Okay.
So they'll be like, who are you talking? Are you talking to your friends? Or if we're FaceTiming one another, if I'm FaceTiming the kids back home, they'll say, if I was FaceTiming them right now, they'd be like, can I see your friends? Even if they had not met anybody in this room, and they would have to say hello to everybody.
I think that's good. I think that's great. Do they manipulate you at bedtime the way my daughter does me, just like for extra seconds?
Extra seconds?
Hours.
Yeah.
The other night, I think I'd read Lizette like 10 books. You know, like the stack just gets higher every single night. So I read through all the books. Hannah comes in to say goodnight. She has this little stuffed animal called Pink Lovey. It's a little bunny, right? Yeah. We sleep with it every night. But we have like 4 of them because Pink Lovey gets like kind of nasty and you got to wash Pink Lovey. But God forbid you don't have Pink Lovey at bedtime.
Yeah.
So sometimes she'll tell us she wants not that Pink Lovey, but that other identical Pink Lovey. And she started to fake cry, but then halfway through made herself crack up.
Yeah.
And we just like had this moment where we like all were laughing about knowing she was manipulating us. And it was just
How old is she?
Funniest thing, 2.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm screwed.
Yeah.
She's got me just...
The floor around Gus's bed is like 30 stuffies.
Yeah.
And like people just give them to you and they just keep giving them to you. And it's really hard to make them go away. And then like doesn't have a favorite one though. So every night it's like, I want Little Bear. And like, I have now learned that Little Bear is the tiny white bear. Because there's 15 bears in there. But of course, it's always the one that you can't find.
100%.
Turn the lights back on, look under the bed.
Yeah, it's a journey. So your book, Papa's Coming Home, it's a very sweet bedtime story about a young family welcoming dad home from a work trip. And by the way, I appreciate that you guys, the dog is like a fully fledged, family member. I like that because that's how we are too.
Yeah.
Why'd you write the book? And what's kind of the deeper message, for the parent reading the book?
Yeah. I mean, our kids are about to turn 4. So it's weird to think that I wrote this book, I believe, before they turned 2. I was coming home from a work trip and had been thinking about writing a children's book because I had asked around for books that looked like our family. As you know, you read 15 books every night. It's like it would be great if just one of those books featured a family that looked like ours. And we came up short. There are a couple good ones out there. And it was also important to me that, the lesson in the book was just a family loves each other, unconditional love for your child. It wasn't kind of punching you in the face with like the morals.
Right.
So I was on an airplane. And the idea came to me, how excited I was to get home and how excited my kids might be that I'm coming home. And that was it. I just wanted a nice, sweet story, especially for bedtime. I was kind of thinking of, the book that incorporates that message of unconditional love for your kid, but also with, some silly things in there that they're going to latch onto.
Yeah, it's very cute. I think the little kids, they'll like the way the story escalates.
Yeah.
I want to ruin the ending for anybody.
Yeah. They helped me write it, right? Because there's so many things that they decide to bring to the airport to greet Papa with. And that was fun to work with Gus and Penelope on. And I would workshop it and see if they'd giggle or not.
Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
You talk about the need for representation in books like this.
Yeah.
Republicans, they love to make LGBT parents the focus of their attacks, their culture war, like things they're demagoguing. You and Pete get singled out in like very terrible ways by some of these horrible people. How do you deal with it? And is that something you have to talk to your kids about?
Well, luckily, no, right now, right? I can shield them from the internet. They're only 3. We try in our house to leave the discourse at the door. It's very hard It doesn't need to be at the dinner table. It doesn't need to be in the minivan on the way to school. Like, we don't need to be talking about, negativity while our kids are around.
Like another thing about Tucker Carlson, Gus.
Yeah, well, the kids are talking to you and there's like spaghetti flying at the dinner table, right? It's like, hey, did you see this crazy thing that, Caroline Levitt decided to say, like, why does that need to be in our kitchen? Why does that need to be at our door? And I'm no stranger to the attack, but I have always believed that the best thing that we can do for our community and our family is just to live our lives authentically, to show people who we are. We're just like every other family, going about our day, reading 15 books at bedtime. And, there's probably a lot of applesauce and mac and cheese stuck to our kitchen table chairs, just
and
like yours.
To the dog.
The dog is Buddy loves it. Buddy's like a Roomba.
Yeah, my dog's gained 15 pounds probably, but her fur is just, finally need to get her groomed because it's like, there's constellations in there. The book is coming out at a time when books like yours are being targeted, challenged, banned, taken to court. What is it like to debut this book while the Supreme Court is hearing this case? It's Mahmoud versus Taylor, where parents are trying to pull kids out of lessons with just, LGBT characters like this.
Yeah, I mean, I started writing it, like I mentioned, 2 years ago, so didn't see the Supreme Court case coming. And now, of course, it's coming out in a couple of weeks. And I just keep thinking about what a kid like ours might feel sitting in a classroom where someone says, like, I don't want to read that. I don't want my kids exposed to that, when it's simply a book about, two loving parents going about their day. And at the end of the day, loving their children unconditionally. So, I'm really disappointed, especially to see that the conservative Supreme Court seems to be favoring the parents in this particular case. As a former teacher myself, I think that's going to put a lot of unnecessary burden on teachers and schools. I mean, the school district in that particular case already said they tried it, right? And it failed. It didn't work. It was so cumbersome to constantly deal with those.
Like communicating what's going to be in the lesson and letting people opt out.
And then, like, where does the line, get drawn?
Right.
Like I want to pull my kids out of lessons about, evolution, or like how many permission slips are we sending, every day or every week to pull our kids out of certain lessons. Right. So again, like this book, it was very important to me that this is a Father's Day book. It's just a book about two dads who love their kids. I think it's like a modern American family. And so I hope that other families will enjoy it. I hope it brings a lot of joy to bedtime. But again, I'm not naive and understand like what we're up against as a community and as a country. So not to be like, the guy out here hawking his book, but like a great thing that you can do is request books like this at your library and at your school. Because I do think it represents who we are as Americans. And there's room for everybody at the table.
It also works. You know what I mean? Like it does normalize like families that look all kinds of ways.
Yeah.
As a educator, I mean, I imagine when you were teaching like the kind of libs of TikTok, kind of like these assaults on teachers, like they probably weren't happening. But I mean, do you talk to educators? Are they scared of, I don't know, being singled out, being targeted?
Well, I think this administration it definitely seems to love to go after teachers and families, right? Making it harder for teachers and harder for families. Imagine that you're like a 21, 22-year-old college graduate with your bachelor's degree in education, and you're looking around thinking, okay, I'm ready to start my career in education. Where am I going to go? Mm-hmm. Places like Florida, probably not as attractive.
No.
Places like Oklahoma that welcome libs of TikTok in, right? Who bring her to the table to draft policy. Just a bigoted real estate agent is now the person who's going to be helping draft education policy.
Crazy.
But imagine that college graduate thinking, is this really what I want to do? Or, what kind of environment are we creating as a country that asks people to step up to the call to become educators, right? You're underpaid, right? It's a really hard job. You don't get the appreciation, respect. On the way over here in the Uber, I was reading about how they want to do away with Head Start. Like, you're talking about the most vulnerable kids in our country. So now you want to take away Head Start. Now you're putting tariffs on baby goods coming from Asia, right? So now you're making car seats more expensive, strollers more expensive. And these are the people in Washington who are screaming like, have more kids, right? That's like their weird thing right now. It's like, well,
natalism is real weird.
We'll give you money to have kids, but then like we can't afford childcare. We can't afford a stroller.
Yeah.
Right.
The grocery prices got to be up. Elon Musk's kid. It turns out to be.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say an Elon Musk designed stroller. Like,
no,
I saw a Cybertruck.
Those explode off the truck. I've experienced like the joy and like the wonder of being a parent, and also the setbacks and the challenges that go into the process of trying to become one. I know that you and Pete have talked about the adoption process and setbacks you guys had, heartbreak.
Yeah.
Did that, like, what was that experience like for you? Did it cause stress between the two of you? And do you have advice for other parents like going through the adoption process, which I know can be tough?
Oh yeah. Yeah. It's so weird to think about that chapter in life now that we have these, brilliant, incredible kids running around our house and just destroying the walls. But when we were crayons everywhere, they just started.
Yeah.
And, I swear like the other week I was like, I think they're doing really good with the white walls, right? Like, and then just like, boom. Just like
can't
crayon
say it out loud.
Everything.
Yeah.
Jinxed it. There was a time when Pete and I, we were on a list. We were on an emergency placement list. So that's where you sign up and say, if there's a call in the middle of the night, in our case where a kid is left at the hospital works with an adoption agency to make an adoption plan. So a parent might need to be called right away. So we had about 24 hours notice.
Wow.
They give you the call and say, hey, you're next on the list. We really need you. Are you stepping up? Yes or no? And you have, a couple hours to decide. We had about 5 adoptions fall through in the span of a year. And the really hard part is they tell you not to plan the nursery. Don't buy anything. Because when one of those cases might inevitably fail, it hurts.
Yeah.
To look at the crib, to look at the room, to look at the nursery, and have it fall through. So we, for Christmas and birthdays and stuff, like aunts and uncles and parents like couldn't help themselves, right? And so they'd start getting things. And it did. It always hurt seeing those things in the corner. You get the call in the middle of the night. There's a situation. Are you guys ready to step up? We'd say yes. And then, it turned into 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 4 a.m., 8 a.m. We wouldn't hear back. And then ultimately something changed where you think you're going to be parents and then you're not. But then it works out. And, whatever God you believe in or however you come to religion or belief, I think like the stars just aligned. And then one day you're standing in a hospital room and you're holding your kids. But there were multiple nights along the way where there was some heartbreak.
Yeah.
But then, my God, as you know, that moment you hold them there's nothing like it.
Yeah. No, I know exactly the feelings you're talking about. Like, get that stroller out of this house. I don't ever want to fucking see it again. We had that. And then there's also the moment you meet your kids. And in a weird way, you're like, okay, everything that came before this had to happen, should have happened because it brought you here.
Yeah.
Right. All the heartbreak, everything that gets you to the point.
That's beautiful chaos now.
Yeah.
It's like you want it so bad. And we wanted to be parents so bad. And that's the thing that I felt like I kept saying to them when they had some health complications after they were born. We were in the hospital for quite some time.
RSV?
Before the RSV. So after they were born, we were in the hospital for almost 2 weeks. Then we went home and then they got RSV. And that's when Gus wound up on the ventilator. But I just remember like holding them and thinking like, you're so loved. Like you are so wanted in this world. Like just looking at them, they were like barely 5 pounds. They were premature, and just thinking how badly we wanted that and how loved that they were and that they were going to be. This huge community excited to welcome them. And then, you fast forward.
You step on another Lego and you're like, rah. Do you put in for twins? Was that miraculous accident? Like, how's that work?
Yeah, I was helping my dad, and helping is doing a lot of work here. My dad with a floor in our basement. And I needed to go to Lowe's to get some more tile.
Sure.
and I was driving to Lowe's.
As one does in
right,
Michigan. Right?
Yeah. Right. Just me.
Hammer.
Just tools and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. And I get a call from the adoption agency and immediately panic because whenever I see that number come up, it usually means like there's going to be a heartbreak. I just know like that was my history with it, right? So talking to the social worker and I say, here's the situation. And they said, like, are you sitting down? And I was like, well, I'm driving to Lowe's right now. And they're like, okay, well, like pull over, like don't crash, like it's twins. I was just like, oh shit.
What a curveball.
Yeah. So I had to, so Pete was on a work trip and I remember like pacing outside this gas station and I called him, and he's like, hello. I was like very formal. It's like, hey, the adoption agency just called and it's our turn. Like they think it's real this time. And like, here's the situation. I'm giving them all the details. I'm like, and by the way, like, are you ready for this? Are you sitting down? It's twins. And it's just silent.
Oh my God.
And then I just hear him go, okay, well, thanks so much for that information. And I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Oh no.
And I was like,
So you had some serious meeting.
yeah, I was like, are you around a lot of other people? And he's like, yep. He's like, okay, call me back. And then it turns out he's on an airplane and he's somewhere out west. And he couldn't call me back until he like lands at the next spot and had to like turn around, get on a red eye,
Oh my God.
come home and meet me at the hospital. But yeah, the twins thing really threw a wrench in everything.
Incredible. You and Pete, you walk this tightrope of like you're public figures. You're also millennial dads who like spend half your life on social media. I know for me, I struggle with, I get a cute video of my daughter and I want to post it on whatever.
Oh yeah.
But then I know it's like in the world forever and strangers will see it and my kids don't have a say in that decision.
Yeah.
And like, how do you navigate that?
Yeah, one of the things that bugs me the most about being a public person, like the thing that people say to me that bugs me the most is when they say like, I want to see more pictures of those kids. It's like, you don't, like, they're not yours. Like, you don't, like, you're not entitled to access to them.
Yeah.
And it kind of creeps me out. And I know that maybe that's coming from a really good place.
Right.
Like, they're so happy for you and they
Right,
want to see how happy they are. But I don't know if you've read Jonathan Haidt's book, The Anxious Generation.
No, but I've read enough takes on it to feel like I have a good sense.
Yeah. But, my kids can't consent to that.
Right.
Like, they can't consent to having their face online. And, like, in a digital age, like, I've seen enough deep fakes of my husband and I that, like, I don't need to put my kids on the internet. One, because they can't consent to, like, being on the internet. And two, I don't want people messing with them. And, even when we were in Washington, I remember we were taking them to the Easter egg roll. We were so excited and like picking out outfits and Pete's mom was with us. It was gonna be a big family day. And the moment we came out of the White House, I sort of had a panic attack because for some reason, all morning I hadn't thought about the press.
It's like open press, yeah.
And the moment we walked out, there's just a flood of cameras. And my heart sank because I didn't think about it.
Right.
And then sure enough, the next day they were on the cover of the Washington Post.
I got my cousin Easter egg roll tickets in like 2011, and then in 2012 I was like, hey Jeremy, you want to go back? And he's like, no, we're good.
Yeah.
It was a lot for me.
Yeah. And plus like you're just on, like it's really hard to feel like you're having an authentic family experience when people are photographing you.
Right, of course.
The constant click of the camera and you're just trying to protect your kids.
Totally.
So it's you want people to see your joy and your happiness and like I like talking about dad life. But there's still an element of that kind of creeps me out.
Yeah, it's a fuzzy line.
Yeah.
It's hard to know where to draw it.
Yeah.
Speaking of more personal questions on a podcast, it'll be heard by strangers. Who keeps the baby monitor?
You didn't
on?
ask for get pictures.
That's right.
That was gonna be
That's my next
question.
question.
Yeah.
Who keeps on the Nanit or the baby monitor at night, or do you trade off?
Well, we don't need it now. I mean, like
You're fully done with the.
yeah.
I guess they get out of bed and they IRL wake you up if they need.
Oh
you.
yeah, and I've like lately, I just sleep through it. I feel really bad. It's like Pete will be like, "Oh, Penelope had a really bad dream last night, and she woke me up at like 2. Like, what? I didn't hear any of that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That you can do that.
Which makes me feel really bad. But yeah, I mean, they'll come get us. And Gus is like up with the sun. It's usually like 5:55 on the dot. He's up. He's singing. He goes downstairs and gets his like little power tools. He's got this like little drill.
Yep, I know that drill.
And he's fixing things around our bedroom.
It's helpful.
Penelope, she's like a teenager. You have to drag her out of bed to get ready for school in the morning.
Oh, my kids. Last night, I think Lizzie was kind of chirping on the Nana at like 10, 2:30, 3:30, and then at 5. The whole family was just up.
No.
We gotta get them to sleep in somehow.
There's two modes. Like they will go down at 7, like they're wiped and they just go down, or we're going to be up till 10.
Battle.
Yeah.
I know the feeling. Are you going to enter the Manosphere podcast universe on your book tour the way Pete has?
Is this not the Manosphere?
I don't know. Maybe the beta Manosphere. The Rogan, Theo Von, Flagrant. Are you doing any of those?
I don't think I need to. I'm glad Pete is.
I'm glad he is too. I thought I listened to the whole Flagrant thing.
The whole thing?
Great. Okay, it's 75% of it.
Yeah, I opened it. I was like, oh no.
I got in this weird Twitter back and forth with Andrew Schultz about it too, because I was like, I tweeted that I thought it was good that Pete went on. I guess I described it as like unfriendly territory.
Yeah,
and that was maybe, I think, an unfair shorthanding of their political beliefs.
Yeah,
but I do think, like, I don't know, I am glad he's going on these shows. I'm trying to force myself on these shows because I do think, what's the point of
I think it shows a side of him that a lot of people hadn't seen before. Like, when he was mayor, you have to talk to everybody, right? We live in Northern Michigan, you talk to everybody. And this is one thing I really admire about him is he can talk to anybody and he can hold his own. And I love when you hear the host go, I had no idea, like he's not only is he like surviving in that environment, but he's actually teaching him something.
No, he was thriving. He got a fire, clip that. He's also good at that's a quote. He's also good at just pretending he didn't hear like the thing he doesn't want to respond to. Like the dude in the fourth row chirping the kind of sexual innuendo or whatever, and he's like, it's gonna.
That's just I feel like every time I go to the gym, I'm in the Manosphere because it's just like it's like innuendos flying and like jokes flying. I can only keep up with like half of them. That's his professional and personal life because it's probably getting that from me too. Like I'm just like a constant, roll of puns and jokes. And so he's pretty good at tuning out what he doesn't want to respond to.
It's a necessity in this weird world we're all in. There's a lot of commentary on Pete's new beard.
Yeah. I'm a fan.
Fan?
I love it. Yeah.
Okay. I can't grow one.
Me either. But now like I can usually let it go like 2 days. Where it's not like terrible, but like I can go to like the grocery store and go to Meijer and no one's gonna say like, well, he's really letting himself go. But now I feel like that since Pete does have a beard, if I even let my stubble grow for like 1 day, they'd be like, oh, he's trying too.
Oh, he's okay,
like, I'm not. Yeah. No, I just was really lazy today.
You're doing like a samesies. Yeah, I just get like a patchy thing here and then.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's not good.
It's not great.
I'm like waiting for it to work. It doesn't.
He's like a teenager about it right now, though. He'd be like, it's really scratchy, though. Like, well, did you put moisturizer on it? Did you like put the beard balm or like beard oil on it? No.
Oh, that's
like,
the thing?
Oh, so yeah, it's like, don't.
I didn't even know. I
just told him yesterday. I was like, well, "Stop complaining about something you're in control of. Just put the beard balm on.
Shave it, pal. Yeah, do whatever you want."
I don't know. What do you think? Should he keep it?
I thought it looked good.
I like it.
Yeah, I don't know. I just wish I could grow one. Seems cool.
Same.
It seems cool.
Yeah,
just have options. I've had the same haircut since I was birthed, essentially, and can't grow a beard. Sucks. Barely have eyebrows.
Yeah.
Pete seems like a bit of a workaholic. Does he drive you crazy if he's home too much?
No, when we moved back from DC, he set up an office in the basement, so it's really just become like the Pete cave down there. It's like the Pete office in the laundry room.
Just go hang, fold some laundry.
Yeah,
do some calls with Biden or whatever.
Whatever you do down there. Yeah,
whatever you do down there. That's good. You guys, anything good on TV? Anything you're streaming?
Oh man, we just watched. Was it episode 2 of The Last of Us of the new season? So I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but and. Finished The White Lotus. Mixed. Can I say one thing?
Sure.
He went in on that pod, Flagrant, and they were talking about The White Lotus, and he was like, hot take or whatever. Like, Lachlan should have died. That was my hot take.
Oh, okay.
And then he just goes on a pod and says it. Like when he came home, I was like, "You can't just take my hot
Stole your
take.
take?
You can't take my hot takes without crediting me."
You were absolute spoiler alert. We were absolutely right.
Oh, you're right. I just spoiled that one. Well, you guys
Honestly,
can cut that out. We'll just take it back to the last question.
We'll
Start
bleep it.
over.
There was nothing to spoil. Listen,
Whatever. It's been out for long enough.
so
right?
long. Everyone can
1 month.
deal with it.
Yeah.
I thought I don't know. It didn't do it for me
Really?
this season. It's fine. It's
I
like
really liked this season.
it's beautiful places, beautifully shot, fun to watch.
That's half of
great
it is just
characters.
like
But I was
travel
like,
candy.
Brothers doing that. Okay, what a twist.
But that's Mike White. Like he
Yeah.
knows what he's doing on that show,
Yeah, he does.
and that's why I like it. It just like slowly builds, and then it all just like falls apart.
I've been loving The Studio on
I haven't seen that.
Apple TV. It's like Seth Rogen, 30-minute comedy,
Oh,
hilarious, makes fun. It seems like every terrible TV executive that they have ever come across makes a cameo in this, and they're just like, it's like a punching bag, like catharsis for them.
That sounds like something I would like.
Highly
Started The
recommend.
Residence on Netflix.
Okay.
It's cute. It's like a murder in the White House.
Oh,
It's like a murder caper. It's kind of weird. Like this, I know I'm going to hear the words that are going to come out of my mouth, but if you've been to the White House, it is wild. It's like
they do it well.
it's done so well. You're like, yeah, when you do walk down that stairwell, that's what it looks like.
That's cool.
There, and it's like very fast paced and it's very funny. But we don't really watch a lot of TV together. We commit to one show to watch together, and then everything else we're on our own.
More than one is too many, and also it's so hard to find overlap. I know what you're saying about watching these shows and having worked in these places in politics, and then becoming the annoying person about realism. Like I
don't want to be that guy. I'm sorry.
I know. Well, I don't need. My wife got really into like The Ambassador or whatever it was.
Oh yes, yeah.
And I'd be like, "This
Cary
is not,
Grant.
This is not how it is." And she's like, "I don't care."
They would never email that.
Yeah, shit like that. And I remember when Homeland came out. I was in the White House at the time, and I was like talking to a bunch of people, and Obama was there about it, and we all like loved it. We were like, "Yeah, this guy's fucking texting from the sit room. Come on, man!" Like,
Yeah,
like we were.
That's why this whole like Signalgate thing is so wild.
It is so funny.
Like the ways in which, like, I could not communicate with my husband when he worked like about mundane stuff, they're so. It's just like you can do whatever now.
Yeah. Pete Hegseth is just hammering classified details. He's copy and pasting from
nothing,
like CENTCOM.
Nothing matters.
Yeah, it's just. Mike Waltz is out though, so some good news.
But did he get nominated for UN ambassador?
He got sent to New York.
Is he out? They're like, this was really bad, so we're going to let him go represent our country in front of the United Nations.
It says
that's a good spot to put him in.
It says a lot about what they think about the UN, that they were trashing this guy.
There's no top secret information at the UN.
No damage can be done there.
Imagine meeting him. Hi, Mike. What brings you to the UN?
Yeah.
Oh, well...
Humiliated out of DC. Yeah.
I was just sharing confidential information.
Listen, Chasten, thank you for joining us today.
You got it.
Papa's Coming Home is out on May 20th. Everyone pre-order it today.
Oh, thanks.
Buy one for your local library.
I appreciate that. Yeah, support your local library.
Support your local library.